Hey, what's up friends and fam of YouTube? I'm going to get started today working on the STI, putting all that stuff in. It needs to go get alignment done and some new winter tires thrown on it. And then hopefully it lasts a long time before we have to throw that guy in there. That's the new short block. I'm gonna get started here, start opening up new packages. Hopefully this goes smooth. A lot of times I'm doing everything, right? I'm taking the wheel bearing off, obviously the axle nut, all of the nuts holding on the wheel bearing to hub, the suspension, everything's getting replaced that's in that pile. So wish me luck, and hopefully, you know, we don't get stuff like the caliper bolts stripping out. I don't think that's a thing with these ones. I'm gonna cross my fingers, but yeah, let's get to it. YouTube, I'm gonna get started today on the STI, getting all that on. The new suspension, the new wheel bearings, new brakes, and then in a wheel alignment. So I just want to say that so far this thing has been a breeze. It looks rusty and gross, the bolts, but I had way less fighting time with this one than I did my mint condition GDB. Now I just took, this is a 4-bolt wheel bearing setup, which is great. I love it because you don't need to press, right? So usually these are seized onto the axle or seized onto the hub. I haven't taken this one off yet, but I bet you like, how easy is that? So I'm gonna slip the new one on and bolt her down and call her a day. So stay tuned, because this episode we're gonna be replacing everything you see here. All right, so new one is on. That is probably the fastest wheel bearing I've ever done in my life. Not even joking. And I think the hardships I went through with the GDB, this one's making up for. So I'm gonna zip that one back on. Then I'm gonna torque those. I don't know the torque specs yet. I will tell you guys when I'm there. And look at that. So this one was making a noise, a humming, nothing crazy, but like you can kind of hear it. It's definitely spent. The other one I don't know, but I'm gonna replace it anyway. Hopefully it goes as easy as this one did. Super easy, 4 bolts, like I said. They're easily accessible with the axle in. You got your ABS sensor here. I didn't have to take that off, but I'm gonna get to torquing this down. All right guys, so the axle nut is impacted on. I'm gonna torque it when everything's on it, obviously, because it just spins right now. But it's probably pretty close because the indent is where it was. This is supposed to be 162 foot-pounds, and these are supposed to be 47.9 foot-pounds. And I'll put the screenshot up on the screen for you. So there's the rotor on. I'm gonna put the caliper back on, and we're going to do the pads. I did, however, pick up some new Raybestos bolts for this thing from Rock Auto. There's the number, made in China. Imagine that. Mostly everything is made in China, but I'm gonna see how they go on. They do have some thread, it looks like locker on it, which is okay. It's probably medium strength. And it looks like those ones do have inserts, that caliper versus the one on the GDB. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. The torque for these says online 80 foot-pounds. Again, I'll put that up for you guys. Always do your own research though for torque specs. Don't ever go off of a YouTube video because people can be mistaken. And yeah, just always do your own research, as do I. If I listen to someone say something on YouTube, I take it with a grain of salt, as all of our videos are for entertainment purposes really only anyway, and to give you guys some insight. But always look up your own torque specs. Back together, look at that. So I found out that the brake pads that were in it were actually Project Mu brakes pads, so that's pretty cool. I am keeping them. They have about 50% life left. What else can I mention? Those Raybesto bolts, they are a 5/8 head. They thread right in, they're brand new. Thought I'd give them a try. That's the number. Raybestos is usually a pretty good brand, so I'll test them out. I'll keep the originals. The originals just are kind of rust deformed. But I'm going to tackle the suspension. when I get the top hats and the new mounts. And yeah, brake pads were pretty easy. I just had to use the breaker bar here to even out the pistons so the pads would slide in nice. I greased the back of them and I torqued the bolts, the new caliper bolts, to 80 foot-pounds based off the information I found online, which I will include in this video. But that's what I did anyway. Always check the torque specs yourself before you tackle anything like this. So yeah, there's the front driver side, which was the worst one. All right, so passenger side's in. She's all torqued up. These are torqued to 48 foot-pounds. This will be torqued to 162 foot-pounds. Same as the other side. I'm gonna let these soak overnight because I don't have the suspension parts yet, but these look really raggedy and the new ones look brand new. They have 11,000 K on them. And then we're gonna move on to the caliper. Take the old brake pads off, obviously. I'm gonna clean up all the bolts for the dust shield as well. Grease the stuff up, the new, or the hardware on top. Put the pads in, this one will be done. And then we're gonna start on the suspension. So stay tuned for that. All right, ladies and gents, as I'm dripping sweat down my face and barely walking, passenger side is done. Look at that. Looks great, doesn't it? I sure think so. And the best part was it went super simple. So I think I'm gonna end the video off here. This is gonna be part 1, and I'm gonna do part 2, which is gonna be the suspension side. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button. Check out other videos on the channel. If you like what you see, subscribe. I always have different vehicles on the channel. This is just luck of the draw right now that I have 2 STIs and a Forester. But I love working on cars. I love making them my own. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And stay tuned for the following part 2 video, which will be the suspension. All right, everybody. Peace!